Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla and the new show Overflow episode 19. The BEV sales climb continues in 2025 with China leading the way. And we had a lot of great bullish news for Tesla's full self-driving technology and progress this week. And we had some more articles saying that Tesla will be delaying the Cybercab production. And the police department says it has saved them nearly $500,000 in maintenance and repairs to drive Teslas. And Tesla has their own AI assistant that is going live. And we have some huge moment in India for Tesla. And General Motors paused their BrightDrop electric van production in Canada due to low demand. And we had some more ex-Tesla employee making some new startups. And the German OEMs are once again in the headlines with them making an environmental mess. All of this and much more in today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
The BEV sales climb continues in 2025, with China still leading the way. Global electric vehicle sales climbed up by 29% in March 2025, driven by a robust growth in China and Europe according to raw motion data. The figures highlight a resilient EV market despite trade tension and policy shifts. Total sales of battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid vehicles reached 1.7 million units globally. China led with a 36% sale increase to nearly 1 million electric vehicles, fueled by strong customer demand and incentives. And if we look at the top list of automakers in the new energy vehicle markets in China, so including all the hybrids, we see BYD still leading as number 1, of course, then Geely at number 2 and Tesla as number 3. If you want to find some other Western brand on this list, well, you have to look at the bottom where you find someone like BMW and Volkswagen. Yes, the Western brands are simply being kicked out of China, except Tesla, that is still a top 3. And after China, we have Europe following, posting a 24% rise to 400,000 registrations, with Germany, Italy and Britain driving BEV growth. As Road Motion Data Manager Charlie Lester said, emission targets and regulations helped BEV sales in some of the continent's main car markets, Germany, Italy and Britain. Yes, just as I have been predicting in 2024 that 2025's new emission target would be forcing the Germans to once again start selling more BEVs to not get big fines. And we can also see on this chart that Germany's 2024 BEV market that showed that Volkswagen Group was leading with 35% market share and almost 135,000 units sold, followed by BMW with 14% market share and 51,000 units, and Tesla with 10% market share and 37,000 units, amid a 27.4% year-over-year decline in BEV registrations because of the EV incentive that was stopped in December 2023. So Tesla was still the third best-selling BEV brand in Germany in 2024, even outselling Mercedes on their home turf. And I don't think Audi sold much more, but they are of course included in the Volkswagen Group's numbers. But I think they only sold about 30,000 units in Germany, so they were also beaten by Tesla on their home turf. So let's see how 2025 will go. Tesla is definitely off to a bad start, of course, so let's see if they can rise again in Germany with the new refreshed Model Y to stay one of the best-selling BEV brands in Germany, Europe's biggest car market. But we can continue to see the same trend as the other years with global BEV sales. China is leading the way in EV adoption, and Europe takes second place, and the US is lagging behind. But nonetheless, still growing, as I showed in other news show, up about 11% in Q1, with Tesla, of course, being the all-dominating force. We had a lot of great bullish news on Tesla's full self-driving technology and progress this week. Tesla shared what I have been talking about in my videos about full self-driving, saying that one day they will be driving themselves directly from the factory to the customers. And Tesla wrote exactly that. One day it'll drive itself right to your house. And Elon Musk tuned in and wrote, "This year." I know every time Elon says something about full self-driving and a time frame, people crunch their toes, but I am very optimistic about the unsupervised for June in Austin. And if that is the case, it's not hard to think that Tesla will have the cars in their Austin factory drive themselves to their customers in Austin this year. So this is probably not as far-fetched as many people would think. I do think we could see the first autonomous deliveries this year from Tesla in Austin. This would be a big moment for Tesla if this really comes true in a few months. This would truly be something that no one else will be able to copy for a very long time. And of course save Tesla a lot of money that not have to use trucks to deliver the cars to delivery centers and have their employees hand them over to customers, but the cars can just drive themselves to their customer's home address. That is wild. But we also have some more movement for full self-driving supervised coming to Europe. As Keys wrote on X, full self-driving supervised in Europe, the data case is getting strong. Article 39 keeps popping up. It's a thing, alright. Stuff are moving. There are evidence that supports this even further. They are actively testing full self-driving in the Netherlands for quite some time now. I know for a fact, as well as in Germany, Norway, Denmark and Switzerland and Spain, test drives are taking place and data is being collected, all via local government type approvals. Great overview by Grace, or whatever he's called, of what is taking place in the upcoming ADAS Track Force meeting. Nothing will be decided here, but it can be pivotal for Tesla and the approval of full self-driving supervised in Europe in the coming months. Yes, things are definitely moving forward, even for Europe. And we had some more articles saying that Tesla will delay their Cybercab production because of tariff war. But I don't think that's the case. As they wrote in this Reuters articles, Tesla plans to ship components from China for Cybercab and semi-electric trucks in the US were suspended after Donald Trump raised tariffs on Chinese goods, sources tell Reuters. The move could disrupt Tesla's mass production plans for those models, it reports. Tesla planned to absorb 34% tariffs, but paused shipping with tariffs went beyond that, says Reuters. But Jeff Lutz came in with some common sense to Reuters articles. Why would this only apply to Tesla, laughing out loud, and not every other major auto and electronic manufacturer? Just Tesla, right? Why wouldn't they just pay the tariffs on these low-volume, low-dollar parts used for prototyping? Again, this doesn't pass the common sense test. Does it sound rational to you to delay multi-billion-dollar launches for a few thousand paid in tariffs? Yes, the Tesla full self-driving business has such huge potential. I don't think Tesla will delay that because tariffs are a slightly higher cost for them in low-cost parts. Tesla will launch this as soon as the software and approval is ready. This is what Tesla and everyone else has been waiting for since 2017. This is what most of Tesla's valuation is built on. They will not delay this because of a few $1,000s paid in tariffs. I completely agree with Jeff on this one. And since I started this channel almost 6 years ago in 2019, I have been talking about the savings you can do with an electric car and how much people don't get the true cost of ownership. But we also had a police department that started using Teslas all the way back in 2019. As I also reported about back then, but now they have 6 years of experience to share with us. 5 years after debuting Indiana's first Tesla police car, the Baggersville Police Department says it has saved nearly $500,000 in maintenance and repairs. Police Chief Bertram said nothing has changed the department's commitment to their Teslas. I couldn't even begin to say how much money the department has saved. Since 2020, I say we have been saving about $70,000 to $80,000 a year from having our vehicles. And the more cars we get, the more savings too. The department, which has 16 officers, started with 1 Tesla in 2019 and has since added another dozen. Bertram remembered getting a monthly gas bill in June 2024 that was more than $3,100 for 4 Ford gas cars. The same month, he said, it cost $300 to charge all 13 electric vehicles. So 10 times more expensive to fill up only 1/3 the amount of vehicles. Now that is some savings you will feel. The police chief also said they never had to replace any brakes on the Teslas. That repair on gas cars can run between $1,200 to $1,500. He said the department hasn't experienced any issues or concerns with the electric cars except one that needed a battery pack change. But as he said, but keep in mind, time down means another car is getting work twice as hard, Bertram said. That Tesla's turnaround time was only 3 days and it was converted under warranty, which means we didn't have to pay. Compare that to gas vehicles that had to stay in the shop for a week. And they also spend about $7,000 in fuel every year on the old ICE cars. But it's not just the more cost-effective police car, it's also just a better car. Just listen to this.
The quickness of this car is really useful in law enforcement because you know when you're in a Dodge Charger and you're stomping it, everybody's looking because it's screaming. It has to do the downshift. It has to, This doesn't. I mean, it just kind of, you can just get right in it and it makes no noise and it's gone.
How quiet it is pretty amazing.
It is really amazing, yeah. But yeah, it's really an amazing car, and it's really done exactly as I predicted it would do. On the winter driving, cold weather driving, I suspected that we would lose about 50 miles. I was off a little bit. We were losing about 80, somewhere around there, just heating the car. The goal was to have a few Teslas that would reduce the amount of use in the budget so we could put that back in and pay for their salaries.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll work?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jeez, I mean...
If I had all Teslas, I could pay to hire 2 officers full time, and then we were spending on the Dodge Chargers and on the rest of our Dodge Chargers we're spending $7,000 a year in fuel per car.
And this, of course, doesn't just work for police cars. This works for you and I as well. The savings on a true cost of ownership, you get such a better car. I had a Mazda 3 before I bought my Tesla Model 3 that I bought in 2019, but already after 5 years of ownership, the Model 3 was a cheaper car for me to own than the Mazda 3. But the Tesla is just so much better in every single way than my old Mazda 3. So we got much more for less, as we now have had the car in almost 6 years, saving us even more money. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Tesla has their own AI assistant that is going live, as Sawyer wrote on X. Tesla has launched a new voice AI agent that was built in-house to improve Tesla insurance customers' support. Tesla insurance customers will now no longer need to talk to a human when requesting basic policy changes. The voice agent will complete the change for you. Also, there is a feature that will summarize your previous call so you don't have to repeat yourself. This new customer service voice AI agent is now available to all Tesla insurance customers. And things are happening in India, as Tesla Club India could report. Tesla seems to be planning to source battery materials in India. Tesla is now hiring for supply industrialization engineer, battery material manufacturing supply chain. Will Tesla also make cells in India? We would love local LFP production. This role will be responsible for selecting, qualifying, and scaling battery cell material, manufacturing process, and quality system at Tesla supplier location. In this role, you will work closely with many organizations, both internal and external to Tesla, taking new battery design from initial contract through into full production. And we did also see a Tesla being tested on Mumbai-Pune Expressway, which is clearly a new refreshed Model Y. Things are definitely happening in India. And Tesla has turned on the two giant 45-foot LED movie screens at Tesla upcoming Hollywood Diner and Supercharger station. Seems like we are getting close to the opening of this legendary station. And we saw some videos about how Tesla's Cybertruck with full self-driving handles donkeys on the street. Now that is an edge case I have not seen before, and it encountered multiple donkeys on the road. I mean, where the hell is this place? But anyway, the car handled it nicely. And General Motors paused bright drop electric van production in Canada due to low demand, with only 1,956 vans sold across the US and Canada, despite 30,000 reservations reported in 2023, highlighting the significant gap between expectation and market reality for their commercial EV. And we are about to see the big export in Q2 here from the Shanghai factory, as we have talked about before, as Tesla is officially shipping its first large batch of new refreshed Model Ys to Australia, as an inbound cargo vessel has docked at a nearby port and been loaded with almost 3,500 of the company's vehicles. So we should see some sales spike by the end of this quarter as these cars reach their new owners. But at the same time, we can also see that Tesla China is continuing to keep up with last year's sales numbers, as they are back to their normal trends with export and domestic sales, as I have showed in earlier news show. Still about 5,000 units ahead of 2024 in China. Just very impressive work for the Tesla China team. And we have more ex-Tesla employees making new startups. Two former supply chain managers at Tesla have started their own AI inventory firm, which aims to make demand and inventory planning more efficient. As a Saudin wrote in a post on LinkedIn, planners are the unsung heroes of consumer brands, holding together supply chain through spreadsheet and sheer force of will. But they deserve better tools. We built Atomic to be the inventory planning system we always wished we had. And the Cybertruck shared on X. Second trip are for quitters, showing off this insanely packed Cybertruck with wood. Not a real work truck, they said. And Alex wrote on X, waste from Audi and BMW factories in Germany was discovered in a village in the east of Czech Republic at the beginning of the year. Among them, the remains of dismantled cars, wind turbines, aeroplanes and batteries. They were simply dumped next to the village church. According to authorities, the industrial scrap was exported by the recycling company Ruth International from Wayton in the Upper Palatinate, a certified waste management company which is now being investigated by the Public Prosecutor Office on suspicion of illegal waste shipment. Imagine the headlines if this has happened to Tesla. Yes, indeed, but the Germans keep cheating and lying and no one cares. And once again, Tesla is leading the way in safety, as unrated Tesla safety features recognized by Chinese Automotive Research Institute. Chinese Top Auto Safety Institute just ran radiation tests on Tesla's Model 3 and Y, and the results are in. The magnetic field inside these EVs are tiny, so small they don't even come close to triggering health concerns. Tesla earned a near-perfect safety score, 198.6. How? The car's electrical design used shield cables to block almost all electromagnetic energy. Antennas are placed outside the car, and Bluetooth signals are extremely low power. Bottom line, riding in a Tesla won't sap your brain. It's one of the safest cabins out there. And we saw this video about full self-driving doing some insane maneuvers between some very tight parked cars on the street. It even auto-folded the mirrors when it went through the tight gap.
The Model S is a pretty wide car, and we're going to have some trouble fitting through here. Then you can see the Beta actually folds the mirrors automatically to get through this really tight gap. Always gives me a little scare when it does these types of things, but did a great job.
And Alex wrote on X, Mercedes-Benz is cancelling CO2 emission as an explicit criteria for managers' annual bonus. Proof that for Volkswagen, I think he means Mercedes here, but anyway, profits is paramount and CO2 emission have no priority for the company. If you want to do something for the environment, don't buy a Mercedes. Yes, I have shown before that they did collude with Volkswagen and BMW and all the other Germans to delay the development and use of selective catalyst reduction, SCR emission control technology, to reduce toxic NOx emission despite its maturity. They were fined €875 million by the EU Commission for colluding to delay emission reduction and held back the development of technology that could have reduced harmful emission from their vehicles. And that was in 2019, 4 years after Dieselgate. So yes, if you want the most environmentally friendly car built here in Europe, go get the Tesla Model Y from the Berlin factory and stay away from anything the Germans are producing. They have been lying and cheating for decades. That is all we have time for in this Overflow news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on videos just like this one. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheet also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.